What's going on, guys? Geek Hustlers coming back at you today with another video. And I'm angry and I'm happy at the same time. Now, I'm going to explain to you why that is the case. So, we're going to be talking about Jujutsu Kaisen, and unfortunately, I've been spoiled on something. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want to pass on the spoiler to you or anybody else who's watching this. So I'm going to keep that to myself. But anyway, today I'm going to kind of be going in and rambling on about Jujutsu Kaisen for a little bit, kind of giving my thoughts about the show so far. It's kind of a little bit of a half review, and I call it a half review because Jujutsu Kaisen isn't done yet, obviously. So, yeah, I'm going to kind of ramble on, like I said, ramble on about it, give you my thoughts about certain scenes, certain characters, and whatnot, stuff that's been going on recently in Season 1, and I'll be keeping this relatively quick. I won't be talking in like 50, 40 minutes. There's just no way I'm going to be dragging the video out that long, so man, yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of my favorite characters right quick before we go into the scenes that I'm going to be bringing up. And number one, we're going to start with the ladies' man first. For my favorite female characters in the show, the ladies first. I have my chivalry, of course, but I ain't no saint. So, moving on. You have Nobara. She is the main female protagonist of the series from what it looks like so far. And you have Mai and Maki, these two twin sisters in the series. And you have another character that's recently been introduced in this week's episode, and that is Mei. She seems to be one of the high elites in the Sorceress Academy. And also you have who else, man? You also have Miwai, this chick with light blue hair. She's kind of like this fangirl for Gojo, another character we'll be mentioning in a minute, right quick. And I'm trying to see if I didn't forget any other female characters. I don't think so right now, or at least the ones that stand out to me. So yeah, that's about it for the chicks. Next up, bring up the men, bring up the dudes. Itadori Yuji, Sukuna, two separate characters, which we'll be getting into them as well. Junpei, oh, by the way, spoilers in the video. I will be going over, if you haven't watched the Jujutsu Kaisen anime yet for whatever reason, I will be going into spoilers. So, there's that. But I won't be going, like I said earlier, I won't be going into that spoiler that I got spoiled on because the anime hasn't gotten to that point yet. I ain't gonna say nothing about that. But I will be talking about the spoilers that I have seen in the anime so far. So, yep, quick warning. So, moving on from that, you have Gojo, as I mentioned before, Mahito, Junpei. I believe I've already brought him up, but I'm going to bring him up again. Fushiguro, Megami, and Panda Dude, I forgot his name, and Toda. And there's somebody else, I forgot his name, but he's like this kid who has a cursed mouth. He can't really talk. He can talk, but he can only speak in like Japanese food ingredients. It's weird, man. I don't really know much about him, so I ain't gonna say nothing about that dude. So, yep, moving on. So, I'm gonna be talking about my thoughts on scenes that stood out to me with each of these characters. So, we're gonna start with Itadori Yuji. And a quick breakdown, Itadori Yuji is kind of like this chill, laid back, kind of like athletic, Chad like dude at the beginning of the show, or at least that's how I viewed him. I didn't really think he was a bad character. I didn't think he was boring. Not yet. I thought he was relatively simple, comfortable, nice shonen MC for me to get used to. I knew that he was gonna go through some kind of arc, considering how they set him up with his grandfather before he had passed away, and then that was when the whole entire promise between the two of them had started. Itadori and his grandfather made a promise with each other. I mean, it was mainly Itadori's grandfather. He said, save as many people as you can and make sure that there are people surrounding you as you die. Okay, all right? So simple. And that was when Itadori's Chi-chan had passed away. and that happened. So that's when Itadori's whole entire character arc and journey starts, and it's it's simple, but it works for this particular series. So moving on from that right there, eventually Itadori he eats this cursed object. It's like this cursed finger, and then after that he develops this weird symbiotic relationship with this dude named Sukuna. He used to be this godlike, strong demon curse or whatever back in his day, and he's been reincarnated inside of Itadori. All right. So now the two of them, I mean, they kind of work together. Usually it's Sukuna trying to take control over Itadori. At one point, they kind of make this pact with each other and kind of like fight over dominance for the body. Itadori completely loses. I did like that scene when they're like fighting each other inside of that inner world. I did like that. That was pretty funny. But not only that, yeah, Itadori lost, and Sukuna can. From what I remember, Sukuna can kind of take over whenever he wants. So yeah. I think I got that right. It's been a while since I last saw that part right there. Again, I pay attention to like Jujutsu Kaisen, but like as of right now, I'm not like super deeply invested right now. Of course, I want to see more, and I'm liking the show, but there may be certain things that I don't really remember properly just because I haven't been like watching it back to back like that. This is still a new show, new series for me, man. I ain't got a photographic memory of it like like Naruto or anything like that. Like I have a photographic memory with Naruto, so yeah, man. There may be some things that I misremember, but I remember quite a few things accurately for Jujutsu Kaisen. So moving on from that, yeah, I do like a lot of the fight scenes that Itadori and Sukuna have, especially with Sukuna. There was one fight that Sukuna had with Megumi Fushiguro, the show's detrotagonist or duragonist, whatever you want to call that particular word, however you want to pronounce that word. Yeah, they did fight each other because Sukuna, he kind of took control over Itadori's body in episode 4 because Itadori was about to get killed by this curse. And he kind of punked out and was like, man, bro, I need Sukuna's help, man. I can't do this crap. So he choked, and then Sukuna came out. And then after that, he went ahead and wanted to cause chaos, do his thing. And there was one part where he was like, Koiza, yeah, or, brat, that right there. Cringy Japanese. I don't care, no takes. Keep it going. But he tried to, like, make sure Itadori was woke or whatever, and he was kind of like checking just in case, because before, when Sukuna had first taken over Itadori's body, Sukuna was kind of taken aback by the fact that Itadori had a strong sense of himself. He knew exactly how to like keep his consciousness from being completely swallowed up by Sukuna's presence. So yeah, Sukuna was like surprised. Obviously, like I said, he was taken aback by it, and yeah, so Sukuna, he's careful around Itadori and his will. But at the same time, like I said before, they had this pact, and Sukuna can kind of take control whenever he wants because Itadori, he lost the fight that the both of them had for control over that body. So there's that right there. Excuse me. I do like the whole dynamic between Sukuna and Itadori. I've always liked those kind of like parasitic relationships, those symbiotic relationships. Yeah, that's a better word to use. Between the main character and this weird thing that's controlling them. It's kind of like Parasite, one of my favorite animes of all time. Bleach, Soul Eater, stuff like that. You got the main character arguing with this weird force inside of him. Same thing with Naruto. It's like, yeah, of course, Naruto as well. And Yu Yu Hakusho kind of got like that later on. But anyway, moving on from that, Itadori, he has his whole thing to where he's afraid to kill, doesn't want to take a life. There was one scene in the series where he's fighting the main antagonist of season 1, Mahito. Mahito is this curse that was created from humanity's hatred, negative emotions, stuff like that. And basically, he went ahead and summoned these little weird cursed minions, and these cursed minions were basically they were like these kids at first, but Mahito has the abilities to touch somebody's soul and change it into whatever shape he wants to be. And basically he turned those kids into like these little curses. And then later on when Itadori and Nanami, oh, I forgot my man Nanami at the beginning. Oh crap, but it's all good. I'm covering him now. So Nanami, he's another character that Itadori meets later on. Nanami's kind of like his teacher, but anyway, that's we'll get to him later. So Itadori and Nanami end up fighting Mahito, and there was this one part where the little cursed children are like running after Itadori. I don't know why I like the animation of that scene. I like the music and the animation of that scene a lot. Every time I see that part. So yeah, there was one part where Itadori grabbed one of them by the neck. I feel like it was just a reflex to where he was trying to defend himself. And he was, he didn't want to kill it. He didn't want to kill it because Itadori kind of has this thing to where he doesn't want to take a life. He would feel guilty about it, something like that. And yeah, it's kind of implied that he killed the thing off screen, but we don't actually see it. And then after the whole fight with Itadori, Nanami, and Mahito ends, it kind of transitions into them like wrapping up these bodies in these body bags. So we can kind of assume that Itadori did what he had to do. He actually did kill those cursed children that were chasing him. And I do remember there was this one part where as he grabbed the kid by the neck, he kind of had this look of anguish and fear on his face, and that tells us that, okay, this dude really don't want to take a life. And that's been done before in media. It's kind of like Batman's no-kill rule. It's kind of like how Goku tries to like give chances. Edward Elric's no-kill thing. How Yusuke hesitated to take a human life. And Yu Yu Hakusho with the doctor scene in Chapter Black. One of the greatest shonen arcs of all time, by the way. And yeah, so there was that right there. And yeah, that got me thinking, okay, so how is Yuji going to struggle with taking a life the next time this happens? Because we know it's gonna happen again. And if y'all manga readers know something, do not tell me. I swear to God, if you spoil it. Man, after today, I don't want to hear no Jujutsu Kaisen spoilers. I don't want to hear nothing. So moving on from that, yeah, I like Itadori. He's cool, man. He's simple. He's I like his laid-back personality. I do like laid-back characters like that. He has a little edge to him. Obviously, he has a tendency to kind of fly off and get angry, and his temper will like get all sporadic and go out of control. I have seen him do that in one particular scene that we'll be getting to once I cover my man Junpei in a few seconds. But yeah, at one point, Nanami, the dude who I mentioned earlier, he kind of teaches Yuji how to use his cursed energy, alright? And Yuji learns this ability called Divergence Fist. I like that name. That name is smooth. So I like that name. I honestly like that name. I don't know why. Divergence Fist, he kind of transmits his cursed energy through his fists. And then he kind of transmits the cursed energy that's coming out of his fists through the target that he's fighting. So there's that right there. Oh my God, my battery's getting low. I gotta ignore that. So there's that right there, and oh man, dang, where was it? Right. He transmits his cursed energy from his fist into a enemy that he's fighting. Right, and then after that, the enemy pretty much suffers. And Nanami even mentioned that this is a really high-level, lethal, sorcerer, Jujutsu sorcerer ability, and it has the potential to be extremely high-level if Itadori learns how to train properly and use it to its full capacity. So obviously, right off the bat, it's kind of like, oh, the main shonen MC, he has a lot of potential if he really hones his skills. So yeah, and that's fine right there. So that's basically what we got for our boy Yuji. So that's all I got to say about Yuji. I like the whole dynamic, like I said earlier, to keep myself from sounding like a broken record. I do like the whole dynamic between him and Sukuna. I do like seeing them fight each other. Oh, yeah, there was one part that I forgot to mention where after the whole entire fight that Sukuna had against Megumi Fushiguro, Sukuna rips out Itadori's heart as he's in control of Itadori's body. And it's like, oh, dang, man. So, and this is to be expected. This is definitely to be expected. If Sukuna has control over Itadori's consciousness at that point, Sukuna can kind of do whatever he wants. Not just to the people around Yuji, but also to Yuji's body. And yeah, I'm going to start calling him Yuji, saying Itadori back to back like that. It's kind of annoying on my tongue. So yeah, moving on. Yeah, but it's like I said, you know, he whipped out Yuji's heart, and later on, Yuji is dead. And then he kind of comes back after the pact scene that I mentioned earlier, and you know, Gojo's keeping Yuji hidden, kind of having him train with Nanami, and Gojo's kind of showing Yuji some things that Yuji has never heard of or seen before, like domain expansions. There was this one scene where Gojo's fighting this curse that's based off of people's fear of Mount Fuji disasters, and yeah, that whole fight was sick. That's where Gojo became one of my favorite characters, Goat Joe. That's what we'll start calling him. And yeah, that's when we figure out his ability. But we'll get to that later. So moving on to my boy Junpei, the King of L's, the man that got shafted way too early. So spoiler alert, Junpei dies. You have got to be kidding me, man. that makes me mad. Okay, so did it ruin the series for me? No, but like at the same time, I really don't like how it happened. Ugh. So moving on. All right. So, Junpei, he basically is like this tortured soul, this kid that gets bullied all the time. You know, they beat him up. He's like the runt of the litter. You know, the bullies look down on him. You know, stuff like that. So Junpei eventually he snaps a little bit at there was a scene where he went to this movie theater and he saw the bullies that always bullied him all the time, and I think this is where Mahito was born. And Mahito, like I said earlier, he comes from humanity's hates and negative emotions. So I believe that Junpei was the main he was the main what's the word I'm looking for? What would we say? Conduit. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he was the main conduit who summoned Mahito. I don't even think I used the right word. So moving on. Yeah, he's the main reason why Mahito was born. Let's just say that. I don't know why I had that major brain fart right there. So moving on. Junpei eventually kind of has this whole dynamic with Mahito. Mahito's like telling Junpei where these curses come from. He's also telling him about himself as well, and Junpei's learning more and more about curse techniques and stuff like that. And later on, Yuji eventually meets Junpei, and you know, they get acquainted with each other. They kind of become buddies and whatnot. And eventually, Junpei introduces Yuji to his mom. And later on, Junpei's mom gets killed. I think it was something like somebody put a darn cursed item near her, and then that item drew some curses near her. She got killed, and it's like, really, like that just happened way too quickly. That still bugs me right there. I don't like. I really wish we got more from Junpei and his mom. Like, So moving on from that right there, naturally and predictably, and this made sense. Junpei flies off the deep end, goes crazy, and awakens his own cursed abilities. And Yuji, he catches wind of this and fights Junpei, and then eventually Junpei kind of, you know, breaks down, and we hear a lot about his torment. And then Mahito kills Junpei, laughs about it. Yuji completely flies off the handle and goes crazy, and then we get this really, really well animated fight scene between Mahito and Yuji. Excuse me again. So Yeah, I do like the fight that Yuji and Mahito had. Yuji was like headbutting this dude, knee kicking him. This is a really savage fight, man. And Yuji's fighting style really reminds me of Yusuke Urameshi's fighting style a little bit, and which isn't really surprising because I heard in a couple of interviews with the mangaka that yeah, the mangaka was inspired by some Bleach and Yu Yu Hakusho, from what I remember. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I do like that. So yeah, man, Mahito, he got his tail laid up by Yuji, and then when the Nami comes in later on, that's when Mahito completely retreats. So that was the whole thing between Junpei and Mahito. Of course, I'm just really disappointed by how Junpei got taken out so early, dude. I just don't like that. So yeah, that's all I gotta say right there about your boy Junpei, man. I'm pretty much done talking about him. Did his death ruin my view on the series? No, not exactly, but it does bug me that he died so quickly. I mean, it's like his whole entire character journey just starting, and then boom, he's dead. But that does give me a sign that the mangaka isn't afraid to kill off characters. So moving on from that. I'm gonna talk a little bit about let's see, Nobara, and I'm also gonna talk about the twin sisters some. Nobara, she's like this feisty, angry type of female character that doesn't really take crap from anybody. My type of girl. And yeah, she has this ability to where she can summon these nails and kind of attack you with those nails and whatnot. And hold on a minute, I definitely need to get my battery. I definitely need to get my battery charged. I do not want my camera to shut off during this review, so hold on. I'm going to set up my camera right here. Get my charger. That is definitely pretty low. Okay, hold on. I hate that I have to do this right in the middle of the review. Oh god. Okay, there we go. Alright. And there we go. And set this right here. Wait a minute. Oh, it's gotta go lower than this. Oh god. Excuse my unprofessionalness right here. There we go. Put that right there. And there we go. Alright. There we go. So moving on right back into the review. Yeah, Nobara, there's not too much that I have to say about that character right there. She is interesting. I will say I do have some curiosity with her backstory. She kind of grew up in the sticks, man, out in the country, and she came from the country to fight as a professional Jujutsu sorceress. And she kind of grew up with this childhood friend who basically got treated like dirt by the other villagers within Nobara's hometown. I forgot the reason why they were doing that to her. I should have kind of rewatched some clips before doing this review just to kind of refresh my mind on what I saw. But anyway, I would like to see more of this childhood friend that Nobara has, because it's kind of her, it's kind of her dream to kind of run into her childhood friend again and reunite with her in the city. Because, since Nobara grew up in the sticks, she expected Tokyo to be like this wonderland or whatever, and that's kind of how people view the big cities. People who grew up in like the country or whatnot. I can relate to that. So yeah. So that's all I gotta say about Nobara's backstory. She's a cool character. She has some cool fight scenes. I do like her abilities to where she can like summon these needles and like slam the needles with this hammer. She did that in episode 3. It seems like she's used to fighting curses. She kind of, in the episode titled "Girl of Steel," like we kind of get a feel for the fact that she has some experience taking out these curses and whatnot, like little low-level curses, nothing serious, man. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about Nobara so far. She also had a pretty cool spotlight moment in this week's episode when she fought in the Sister Exchange Kyoto fighting festival event thing. I forgot the name, so I don't really have anything else to say about that. But yeah, I'll go deeper into that later on because I'm going to be doing Jujutsu Kaisen episode reviews real soon as I get done with my Attack on Titan overview. So yeah, moving on from Nobara, I'm going to be going into Maki and Mai. I'm not calling her Mai. It's not her name. I kind of make that mistake sometimes. Because Mai is like the younger twin sister between the two of them. Maki is kind of like this Rock Lee-ass character. She's strong. She also doesn't take crap from anybody. Again, my type of girl. And she is like this tactician, this gifted tactician. She never had any cursed abilities growing up. In fact, she wasn't born with any. It's kind of the Rock Lee thing coming into play here. She was pretty much treated as a loser and a failure by her family. They treated her like crap. Her and her sister, obviously, the two of them were kind of like the outcasts of the family. I believe they're called the Zenin family, from what I remember. Yeah, basically, eventually, Maki decided to leave the family by herself, kind of leave her younger sister behind, and her younger twin sister kind of relied on her. The two of them made a promise to kind of not like leave each other and to always look out for each other and whatnot. So there was that, and this is kind of the reason why Mai is just bitter and hateful, especially towards her older twin sister. Because she sees what Maki did that day is kind of like breaking their promise, because Maki decided to leave the family and come back and lead the family herself. And, and Maki decided to leave Mai behind. And Mai decided to, continue to work hard and put up with all the family's, horrible treatment of her. But her sister wasn't really there to put up with it. So, yeah, I do like that whole thing to where one twin decided not to put up with the nonsense that they had to deal with, and the other twin wanted to stay back and, put up with it. So, yeah, all right, simple, but I do like it. And it creates a realistic reason as to why Mai dislikes her twin sister. So there's that, because we've heard her say, I hate you. So there's that. Sibling rivalry going on, that's fine. I mean, not really anything too new that we've seen shonen. We've seen sibling rivalries multiple times, but it's fine here. Just because it's been done before doesn't mean it's automatically bad. That's pretty simple. Just, as long as you have a different spin on it, it's all good. So, I do like, and also Mai's ability. She has the ability to summon, create bullets with her cursed energy. From what I remember, she can do that like at least once. At maximum, she can do that once per day. I think she can do it once per day, but she did it recently in this week's new episode. So that's pretty cool how she can use cursed energy to create a bullet from nothing. That's pretty interesting. That's it. So she got into a fight with Maki. Of course, she lost. And Maki, speaking of fighting, Maki is a complete tank. There was one scene in the recent episode where we see Maki's fighting abilities up against this girl, Miwai, and Miwai is kind of like this simple chick who kind of wants to earn enough money to support her family, whatever. Admirable, but simple. So, and we find out how strong Maki is. It's like, God dang, man, this chick is a tank. Like, what? I do like that. I do like female characters that can hold their own. They don't hide behind the dudes all the time. They're not damsels in distress. And basically, oh yeah, I went there. But yeah. And basically, Maki, she's one of those chicks that can handle herself just fine, really. I mean, I don't care for those characters that are like, oh, I don't need a man. Like, no, when you're forcing it, okay, all right, that's when I'm not cool with it. But Maki, she's one of those, female characters to where she can fight, but she's not like constantly bragging about the fact that she doesn't need a man. She doesn't feel forced, if you catch my drift right there, because that's definitely something I'm not even going to get into in this video. So moving on from that, I do like Maki's fighting abilities. Her twin sister, her abilities honestly aren't that interesting to me, but it is pretty cool. I do like the fact that she can like kind of summon a bullet and make that from nothing using curse energy. That's pretty cool. So moving on from the twin sisters, I'm gonna go straight into Megumi Fushiguro. And Megumi Fushiguro, he's definitely an enigma. I don't really know anything about that dude. He's kind of like the Sasuke, Yuno-esque character, only, you know, done differently. And yeah, I don't really have much to say about Fushiguro. I do like his abilities, the way he can like summon animals, and of course he can summon like these two wolves. That's pretty cool. And you know, wolves, those are my favorite animals, so I do like that right there. That's cool. And not really much to say about his personality. You know, he's like stern, he's serious, he's smart, tactical, patient. Excuse me. Dang man, I burped 3 times in this video. And yeah, he's kind of the opposite of Yuji, and I feel like Fushiguro, he's kind of like the detrotagonist or duogonist for this particular series. So, okay, cool. I do like him so far. I do want to see more of his backstory. We kind of like saw a glimpse of his backstory. I honestly, when he was fighting Sukuna, from what I remember, I honestly don't really remember it. It didn't really stand out to me at all. So I just don't have much to say about Megumi Fushiguro other than the fact that he's a cool character. Like I don't have anything. So yeah, I just want to see more from this character. Not only that, I just want to see more from these characters in general, because I know they have backstory potential. They have so much potential to be a lot more interesting than they are now. Then you got Todo. Todo is like the hot-headed, do what I want, you know, beat you down in a fight type character. He kind of like, yeah, and this is unique. I've never seen anybody do this before. He kind of asks you, what's your favorite type of women, and that's how he kind of scans you, gets a feel for you, and kind of tries to figure out what type of person you are, and he kind of judges how interesting you are based off of your, you know, favorite type of women. It's weird, but for some reason it works for him. So that's all I gotta say about Todo. And he kind of had this part to where he was beating the brakes off Fushiguro. My God. Yeah, there was that. I will say Fushiguro, he can take a beating, man, because he got his tail smacked by Sukuna as well, where he was getting thrown through like buildings and whatnot. I'm definitely curious as to what kind of endurance this man has. How durable Megumi Fushiguro is. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about Todo. He's funny, he's cool. I don't know crap about his backstory. It's like, it's too early for a lot of this stuff. Like we got some backstories and whatnot, but like it's not enough. We don't even know Yuji's parents yet. So moving on to Goat Joe. Goat Joe is kind of like the Kakashi-esque sensei teacher character, or whatever you want to call him. He's you know, he's goofy, he's laid back, he's silly. I see him as kind of a mixture of, you know, Dr. Stein and Kakashi a little bit, you know, the crazy teachers. And he kind of like, he has no respect for his peers. He's always talking crap to them. I find that to be pretty hilarious when we get to see Gojo by himself, and he's kind of like talking to the you know, the leaders of the academy that these sorcerers work at. And yeah, Gojo, he's also an enigma. We don't really know too much about him right now. We do know that there's something going on with his eyes, like, and this ties back to what I said earlier about his domain expansion ability, where he fought that curse that was like this Mount Fuji curse or whatever. I don't really have much to say about Gojo. He is a very interesting character. I just really want more and more from these characters, man. It's like, there's just not enough for me to really gauge for these characters. I have quite a bit, but it's not enough. Like, I don't really have too much else to say about Gojo other than he's a cool character, he's entertaining, he's definitely becoming a fan favorite right now. I will say that. And I see him being talked about for years to come. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about Gojo. Definitely a pretty cool character. I like his design, I like his personality, I like his abilities. I can't really go deep into his mindset, really. I can't say nothing. He's so unpredictable, other than the fact that there was one scene where I think Yuji was asking Gojo
okay, how strong are you compared to Sukuna? And Gojo kind of casually says, I'd say I'm stronger. And that kind of tells us that Gojo is a terrifying threat. And if we ever were to see those two fight, bad things would happen. So, yeah, moving on from that right there. Next, I'm gonna go into Panda Dude and the Panda Dude. I forgot his name. I don't think he has a name, from what I remember. There was this one scene where the Panda Dude, he was fighting this other character named Mekamaru during the exchange event, the sister exchange event, which is the arc we're currently in right now in the series. Yeah, he kind of has these forms to where he has like this calm, smooth form to where he's like focused in the middle of a fight, and he has another form to where you can like transform into like this kind of like gorilla panda. It's so weird, but it's like it's new. I haven't seen anything like that in shonen. It's definitely interesting to me to see something like that. I've never seen a shonen character do anything like that before. So he has like 3 soul modes inside of him, something like that. And his gorilla mode is like this fighting mode that he busted out towards this other guy called Mekamaru. And Mekamaru is like this, he's another tortured soul who basically can't live properly. So he has to control this robotic body from a distance, and that is also one of my favorite fights in the series, I'd say. It was very exhilarating, really well animated fight. And speaking of the animation, it definitely blows my mind what these animators at Studio Mappa can do. I definitely respect the grind that these people are putting in for us, especially with Attack on Titan. But moving on from that right there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get into the whole Studio Mappa situation, what's going on with Attack on Titan, but not right now. We'll move on from that at the moment. So, yeah, we know that the Panda Dude, the vice principal of the Jujutsu Tech Academy, he kind of created this cursed object doll, something like that. It's weird, and it's a panda for some reason. And the Panda Dude was kind of like this experiment that Jujutsu Tech was experimenting with, and that's basically what the Panda Dude is. And he's a complete lethal threat. That's all I have to say about him. So, yeah, I'd say, yeah, that's a pretty good amount of my thoughts. Unfortunately, the video ended up dragging out a little bit, and it's close to 40 minutes. But, yeah, it's all good, man. I do like Jujutsu Kaisen. I feel like it has a lot more potential for me compared to My Hero Academia. My Heroes, it's a fun series. It is cool. It has its serious moments as well, but I definitely like Jujutsu Kaisen a lot more. I resonate more with the setting, the characters, the overall feel, the soundtrack, just everything about it. Just, you know, that's something that I prefer more when it comes to a shonen, because again, like I said before earlier in the video, it is similar to Yu Yu Hakusho and Bleach in a way. I do respect the mangaka so far and what that person's doing. I don't know the gender of this person, but that doesn't really matter. A good story is a good story. So that's about all I got to say about Jujutsu Kaisen. Look forward to more reviews coming out on the channel focused around this series. I will be talking about Jujutsu Kaisen a whole lot more, especially when it comes to episode reviews. Again, it's kind of disappointing that I didn't really have too much to go in depth with. I mean, there's just not enough. It's kind of early right now to say, oh yeah, well, we just found out about this. Well, at least for me, as an anime only, it's too early. And I'm not a manga reader for the series yet, so, you know, I got what I got. So that's about it. And I would say this is a review on what we got so far. So moving on, Geek Hustlers out. Subscribe for more if you choose to. Hit the notifications bell if you choose to. And that's about it. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.